Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. I've had a tooth out, so I'm feeling a bit sorry for myself, but if I'm mumbling even more than usual, that's your reason. It's got a fake tooth in it. That one's fake, and that one's fake. Yeah. Anyway, enough of my woes. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua. God bless him. He's left Sky Sports, Sky Boxing. He's now joined with DAZN. It was rumoured for the last however many days. And to be honest with you, no one's really surprised. But I do think it's a calculated gamble by DAZN, because Joshua is 32 years old now, which is not a young man, not in boxing terms. And he's not ancient for a heavyweight, of course. He's got a few years left, but 100 million, 100 million pounds, that is, not dollars, for a 32-year-old who's lost his last fight, isn't currently a champion, and will not start as the favourite in the Usyk rematch. So let's say Usyk knocks him out again, or beats him again, and maybe even knocks him out. Where does that leave Joshua? Does it leave him with a couple of years to rebuild? I suppose that would be the obvious thing. He'd have, if Usyk beats him again, he's got to rebuild. He'll probably have 2 or 3 fights which are not world title fights. Are people going to buy this? Are people going to pay for that 100 million that DAZN are giving him? Now, Joshua he's also the global ambassador for DAZN and a special advisor, whatever that may mean. Look, I think DAZN is a fantastic idea, a boxing app, a boxing Netflix. Fantastic idea. I like DAZN. I think their output's very good. There's always something on, virtually every week. I watch it. I love it. And yes, of course, if you've got a new concept, a new platform, it will take you a long time for it to become established. You have to speculate to accumulate, or whatever other corporate cliche you want to use. You've got to invest money, lose money at the start. As I've said before in previous videos, because I'm older, I remember Sky starting up. Rupert Murdoch, he was the one that wanted to get Sky. He wanted satellite TV in Britain, and his papers, predominantly the Sun, which was selling, I think, 3 million copies roughly a day, were funding the losses for Sky. Not just Sky Sports, but it used to just be called Sky, and there'd be different genres of entertainment. Sport was just one of them. But they were losing money hand over fist, and Murdoch paid for those losses with money from his newspapers and from his. I mean, he's got so many interests. He's a multi-billionaire. But they were losing money. It took years for it to become established. The name was established, and now it's an absolute powerhouse. 32 years, whatever it is later, it's a powerhouse. And it makes a lot of money, and they've got all sorts of different departments and different channels and so on, and it really dominates. Well, that's going to be the same for DAZN. I think DAZN will work. I think it is the platform for the future, that concept. But 100 million for a 32-year-old ex-champion who may well lose his next fight and will then have to rebuild, seems to me like, as I said before, a calculated gamble. I'm not sure whether it's the best investment, but Joshua is very popular. And you never know, he could beat Usyk in the rematch. I don't think he will. Had they fought immediately after the first fight, I would have picked Usyk to win by knockout. I'm not quite so sure now, because Joshua has had time to settle himself down mentally. His mentality, his psychology was all over the place in the immediate aftermath of the Usyk fight. But he's managed to sort of stabilise himself, perhaps. Robert Garcia in his corner now. Maybe he's been working on things behind closed doors. I wouldn't rule him out of the Usyk rematch entirely. Usyk, of course, has other things on his mind, namely the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, which is not exactly a small issue. It will, if you want to talk about out of the ring topics that may, preoccupy a fighter's mind and take him away from the sport, I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that, does it? But I do wonder. I think I watched G-Man's video on the same subject, actually, and he was talking about the fact that Joshua may attract subscribers. Now, Joshua's fights are going to be on pay-per-view, and if you've watched my videos before, you know my view on pay-per-view. I don't like it. I don't use it. I don't buy it. I stream things. Unashamedly, by the way. And, I'm not paying for that 100 million quid. Fuck that. But with pay-per-view, one of the things that G-Man mentioned in his video was perhaps they could do something like, for example, you pay for the pay-per-view, but you get three months free subscription, or 2 months, 3 months, whatever, to DAZN, which would probably bring in a lot more subscriptions. A lot more people would sign up for DAZN on a permanent basis. That seems like a really good idea to me. A way of getting subscribers. You've got to play the long-term game. DAZN initially said pay-per-view is dead, we're not having it. And of course, you know what happened. It's kind of obvious. Back in the real world, they realised they were losing hundreds of millions of pounds, I think it is, over a short period of time. They needed to do something, so of course pay-per-view had to be introduced. But yeah, Joshua's name is big. Perhaps he could attract a lot of subscribers. The fact that his fights are going to be on pay-per-view, I mean, let's say he does lose the Usyk rematch, will those comeback fights against, I don't know, just off the top of my head, maybe a rematch with Joseph Parker, or I don't know, some rebuilding fights, who knows, a rematch with Dillian White perhaps, will those be on pay-per-view? And if so, despite the fact Joshua sold out stadiums and has massive pay-per-view numbers when he was on Sky, I'm not convinced that a guy with 3 defeats on his record and against lesser opposition, I'm not convinced that that'd sell particularly well. So basically, the jury's out for me. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong, because I think Joshua's a good fighter. I think he seems like a decent fella. I want DAZN to work, and I'm not doom-laden about this, but I am a little bit sceptical about it. I don't know how effective it's going to be. So yeah, what do you think? Interesting development? Are you a DAZN subscriber? What do you think of the pay-per-view issue? What do you think of Joshua? There's no doubt DAZN needed a sort of flagship or figurehead, if you like. And Joshua is he's not a bad one to snare. They have had Canelo on the platform, of course, but he sort of flits from, he's free agent, isn't he? With Joshua signing to DAZN, finally they have a fighter, a very, very well-known fighter, internationally as well as in Britain, who can maybe, trumpet their product, if you like. So what do you think? Leave your comments below. These are just my thoughts. If you're new to the channel and you can subscribe, hit the subscribe button, please do. Helps immensely. We want to build the numbers up, so please, it takes a second to hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like the video, and as always, thank you for your time, and of course, take care. Speak soon.